Hello everyone, myself Vaibhav. I welcome all of you to today's session of Daily Stock, in which we are going to take a look on the data center giant Oracle Inc.'s corporate earnings for the third quarter of fiscal year 2024, which were released just 2 days back. And these earnings are once again reaffirming our faith in the AI driven transformation which is taking in the tech space. This is one more company which is standing, and as well as it is right now also it is benefiting a lot from this AI boom, as more and more customers are opting for the AI deployment using the cloud services offered by the companies like Oracle, and that is boosting the revenue and resulting in higher operating as well as net profit. So we will see how things have turned out for the last quarter and what the things are likely to be in the ongoing quarter, while also keeping in mind the upcoming quarters to determine the fundamental drivers for the company's business and how we can take advantage of this situation. For the last quarter, the earnings were higher for the Oracle Inc., with the revenues growing 7 percentage point year on year, and the net profit has also been higher. For the exact figure, we will have to look at the consolidated statement of income. This is the condensed consolidated statement of operations, and in it you can see that the revenues have grown to $13.2 billion to 8 billion from 12.4 billion just a year back. That is putting the revenue growth at 7 percentage point in annualized term, with the operating expenses also slightly higher with 4 percentage point growth there. That means the company's operating margin has gotten better, and that leaves more cash on the table for the shareholders, and that is also reflected in the net income rising 27 percentage point from 1.9 billion US dollars a year back to the US dollar 2.4 billion in the last quarter. There is a phenomenal growth, and along with the top line growth, that is the growth in the revenue, the bottom line is also growing. That means the company's initiatives taken couple of years back in 2022 to cut cost and optimize its resources to generate higher revenues, while at the same time making the operations leaner, seems to be paying off with this betterment of the margin for the Oracle Corporation. For the cash flow, we will have to see how the company has generated the money and where it is spending all that. There's Q3 fiscal 2024 year to date financial result. We will not really go into the details of it much. Here also, for 9 months, there has been 7 percentage point growth, and the net income is showing the growth of 41 percentage point. That's nothing less than phenomenal, as the net income has increased from US dollar 5.2 billion to US dollar 7.3 billion, which is a remarkable achievement. This is the balance sheet, and of the balance sheet, we are going to go into the details of the changes in cash and cash equivalents. For that, all we have to do is refer to the cash flow statement for the 9 months ended February 29, 2014. And here you can see that the cash provided by the operating activities have increased from 11.5 billion to 12.6 billion. That's almost 10 percentage point growth in the operating activity, cash generated by the operating activity. For the investing activity, there has been no acquisition in the ongoing year, so that has reduced the net cash used in the investing activity substantially from almost $35 billion a year back to just little over 4.5 billion in the ongoing 9 months of the current fiscal year. For the financing of the acquisition, there was also a lot of borrowings from the market to to complete the acquisition, and that had resulted in higher cash inflow and outflow in the last year's 9 months. But this now has been on the lower side. As I said, there has been no major acquisition or related expenses for the company, for the Oracle Corporation in the current fiscal year, and that simply means that the net cash used for the financing activity is uh, is changing a lot with this outflow of $8.28 billion, and this puts the cash flow in the negative territory, as there has been a net outflow of the cash with the cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the current period reducing by $284 million, and that is still leaving the Oracle Corporation with the cash pile of $9.5 billion, which is a lot of money for the company to spend on the various projects and initiatives it might want to undertake. It can return this cash to the shareholders, or it can use this money for fresh R&D initiatives or related expenses. Now we are going to change gears and go into the technical side of the story. So for that, we will have to look at the Oracle's stock price performance over recent sessions. In particular, after the release of its earnings report, the stock price jumped almost 10 percentage point from 114 to almost 130, and it has been consolidating on these elevated levels. In today's session, after the start of the market, we are likely to see quite a lot of volatility in the stock price of the Oracle, and given the way it has continued to consolidate on the higher side, I feel we have strong reasons to believe in the continuity of this bull run in the Oracle Corporation's stock price, and it might continue to lead the up upside. But at the same time, we also have to keep in mind that there has been a substantial move already in place. So that is going to increase our risk reward ratio, because if we have to get involved on these elevated levels, the recent swing low is not really nearby. There has been big change in the way stock price has performed over the last couple of weeks, and that means for any new trade, you will have to give some more time for the Oracle's share price to stabilize, to consolidate, and if it holds the ground and continues to consolidate with upward bias above 125 or thereabout, we can feel confident enough to go in for a newer trade with the expectation of the current rally continuing to get Oracle towards newer and newer highs, and I am quite optimistic even on this higher side, because the business has changed, and the Oracle is one such company which is going to benefit from the ongoing changes because of the AI boom. For the medium term, we will have to consider the daily time frame. In the daily time frame, the Oracle is similarly on the upward trajectory. It has been making higher highs and higher lows for a while now. And after this jump from the price levels of around 110 to 130 has opened up a big gap because of these 10 percentage point jump after the earnings report release. We will have to be a bit cautious, but as I said, the formation is of higher highs and higher lows. That means unless there is any significant drop which pulls the Oracle Corporation's price below 110, we can be fairly confident of the continuity of ongoing rally and go for the newer trade as and when we see that there has been good enough consolidation and the recent price range is likely to hold with these underlying bias coming into play, which is on the bullish side. So for that, I feel that we will have to wait for a couple of weeks before we get a good enough opportunity to try out for ourselves to see how things unfold. On the longer term, the price formation is of similar nature with this formation of highs and higher lows confirming the bullishness of these oracles share price rally. But on these elevated levels, of course, we will have to take much more risk than what we would have done if it were to trade on the lower levels. And that is why I feel here also it will be too much of a hurry if we decide to get involved in the share price of the Oracle. But as we have seen that the price zone of around 100 is going to be crucial for the determining of the bullishness and the bearishness of the stock price of the Oracle. So I feel as long as this price range holds, we can indeed take our chances, but whether the time is now, I'm not really sure because from the ongoing price rally, we don't really get to see how much probable it is that it will continue to rise, and if it does not, it might even go in sideways price formation. So keeping all these possibilities in mind, we will have to wait for the next correction as the train has seemingly left the station and there is no going back. Maybe in the next leg of the rally, we might get some opportunity to trade and invest with underlying bullish bias remaining intact. So that's all from my side for today's session of the daily stock, in which we considered the fundamental as well as the technical prospects of the Oracle Corporation, and we are likely to benefit from this ongoing rally if we adopt buy on dips strategy, buy on dips approach. The only thing is that we will need to be patient, and the opportunity is likely to come our way. That's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Do subscribe and access equally interesting content from me as well as from other technical session hosts. Do check it out and like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time around with a equally interesting stock to work with. Goodbye.